Hi everyone and welcome back to GHT. So today we're going to be looking at face shapes. That's why my hair is up, so that we can have a look at my face shape first. So what I'm going to do is just pin the last remaining bit of hair out of my face. So I can completely see the shape of my face. So like I said, I'm going to start with mine and then we'll go through the other face shapes that there are. So what I'm going to do is a little trick. If you're not sure what face shape you are, take a board marker or an eyeliner or whatever you've got to hand, and you're going to draw your face on the mirror, okay? So looking directly at the mirror, all your hair pinned back so you can see the outline, you're going to draw. So I tend to close one eye, draw the top of my head, draw the bottom of my chin, and then I join it all up. Obviously this is a rough guide to your face shape. Okay, so now I've got my face shape on the board. I can see that it's much longer than it is width-wise. It's quite soft around the edges. I've got no real sharp angles on my face, so I'm all soft around the top corners and the bottom corners. And I've got no defining points, like at the chin. So for me, my face shape would be long. The reason I think it's long is because these side panels here, these side bits, are quite straight down. They don't round off. They're fairly smooth and straight. So for me, I would say my face is long. Okay, let's rub that one off. So mine, like I say, mine is long. A similar one to mine would be an oval, but mine is more stretched out. So your oval is what they class as the sort of more perfect shape. It's totally balanced. Whereas mine was flat around the sides, the oval is slightly rounder. Again, it's still got all your soft edges. No angles in there. So that's your oval shape. And that is what people call the perfect face shape. The reason they call it perfect is because this face shape suits any hairstyle, any haircut. Okay, so I'm going to use the same pen, same red pen, to go for the round face. So a lot of people think they've got a round face, a lot of women do. That is more because, you know, for me, I suppose you could say, I could have said I've got a round face because I've got a little bit of extra weight around here, but it's not about that. It's about your bone structure and the way your shape, your underneath all of this flesh, how your shape is. So your round face is where your width of your face and the length of your face are similar. So you're taking off that top section and you're taking off that bottom section. So it doesn't mean that you've got a fat face. It doesn't mean that it's you know, it doesn't mean any of those things. It just means that your face is as wide as it is long. So again, let's pop my long face in. So my long face is similar to the oval, but it's not got such rounded edges, and it is slightly longer and not quite so rounded around the edges. It's longer. The next face shape we're going to look at is your square. So the square face shape is where your angled, your strong jawlines come in, slightly more defined shape around the corners of your forehead. So you would be then adding on to your oval, you'd be adding on your corners. So it doesn't mean that you don't have a chin and you're dead straight across. It just means that these parts here are slightly more angled. So you've got slightly more square shape to the face, okay? So The next one we're going to look at is the heart-shaped face. So the heart-shaped face, again, if we start where the oval is, it's all getting a bit overlapped, but bear with me. So you've got your oval there, but instead of it coming rounded, from sort of around to your cheekbone area, it's coming down. Oh, my pen is going. It's coming down at more of a point. So you've got a much more defined chin. And with the heart shape again, you've got it's similar to the square, where it's slightly more defined forehead, but those they wouldn't necessarily be as square, they would be a little bit more rounded. Okay, so that's your heart shape. The similar one to the heart is the diamond. Oh, writing's got worse as I've gone along. So the next one is your diamond. So it's the same shape at the bottom as the heart, but instead of coming out like the heart at the top here, it's cutting off. Let's get another pen because my pen's not working. But it's cutting off here. So it's cutting off, instead of having the slightly more defined forehead, it's cutting it off here. So you're getting that sort of shape. Okay, so they are your main face shapes. You can have a combination of those, so you might have quite a nice angled jaw, but you've got the oval forehead, or you may have the diamond here, the heart shape at the bottom, the diamond and heart shape at the bottom, but you actually don't have such a defined forehead and it's smaller, so you've combined the round, so you've got a round top and an angled bottom, so you're not always going to be one of those. Okay, so rub those away. So with the long, let's go with the long first. So excuse my drawings, they are terrible. Okay, so you've got your long shape in there. So what they say flatters a longer face shape is, you're trying to get to that oval. So you would try and bring the face shape smaller, shorter. So you could pop in a fringe. So that is what I've got. I've got a longer face, so I've got a fringe, and it's to the side, so that, because if you put it in the middle, you're still going to see that point straight down the middle of your face, which means you're still going to have that look, that feeling of a longer face. So if you move it to the side slightly, you are then cutting part of that bit off, so you're taking off some of that. Also, with a longer face, you don't want to have a haircut that comes above your chin, because if you do that, you are just emphasising this section of your face. But there's no right or wrong, so actually, if you find something that works for you, wear it. Because there's so many people out there that don't follow all the hard and fast rules that are out there. So a good example of, let's go to a square face. So let's go to a square. I'm going to do slightly a longer square because the person I'm thinking of does have slightly longer. Excuse that, it's a terribly faced, shape, but it's slightly more angled. So the person I'm thinking of is Robin Wright. She has worn, if you watch Forrest Gump, she's worn her hair long and wavy and full, and with some parted fringe in there, and she looked great. But she's also been in House of Cards, where she wore that pixie cut, and she just had a really small fringe cutting off that top section, but she was owning it. She was owning that jaw, but she still looked amazing. If anybody's seen House of Cards, she looked fantastic in it. So there's no hard and fast rule about it. But if you are conscious of your jawline, what you want to be doing is you want to be bringing in some layers. You want to be bringing in some layers, some nice soft, and some maybe a bit of curl to soften that line. So you're doing the reverse of what you've got. You've got an angle in there, so what you're going to do is you're going to put something nice and soft in. Again, because this face that I've drawn is slightly longer, you could put some nice wavy layered a nice layered curtain fringe in there. Okay? And again, with a square face, with these layers around the side, if you've got some layers in there and some curls, you are just softening all of that up. So you're getting rid of all of the angled lines in there. Okay. So we've already covered the oval. Oval, you can do whatever you like, whatever you want with an oval. So with your round face, we are trying to stretch that out a bit. So you're going to want to create a bit of height here. So you don't want to be cutting anything off because you're making that even more squat. So we're not going to cut it off with a fringe or, but again, I've seen people with fringes and they look great. It's whatever works for you. But if you are conscious, then give yourself, you can still have something around your face, but give yourself a little bit more height. Create a little bit of height in there, which will stretch out your face. Okay? So when you're blow drying it or curling it, give yourself some lift around the front and that will stretch your face out. When you're putting your hair up, wear that tall bun on the top so you again are stretching out your face. So don't wear a low pony and pull it all back. Wear that top knot. Okay. Where did we get to? So the heart and the diamond. So with the heart, that's a very severe heart. Obviously, just my blue is not working very well. With the heart, again, you are taking away the more defined area. So you're going to put something in there. You're going to put a fringe in. You could put a nice soft fringe in there, and that will take that off. But to widen this area, you might want to bring something a bit bigger around here. So you're cutting off and creating something big. So a nice big bouncy, so you could come more straight down, put your bangs in or your fringe in, and then create that illusion of volume with your curls and your bounciness in your blow dry or your however you decide to style it. Again, the diamond would be the same. You'd have the same, the bottom bit would be the same, but the top, that's where you would want, because your diamond's coming in like this, with your defined jaw, cheekbones coming down into the thing, but you haven't got that defined edges on like the heart has. So again, instead of bringing it down to emphasise that, you're going to create that volume like you did with the round. You're going to create something around the top here and then do this, creating all that volume through the bottom. So a good example of that would be your Jennifer Aniston. If you look at her in Friends back in the day, she had lots of volume. She didn't necessarily wear her hair sweeping down. She didn't come down like that. That Jennifer Aniston Rachel haircut, yes, she had them. She had some layer in there, but quite often it was blow dried. It was blow dried really high. It was really high, and even though she had a bit of fringe, again, it was still blow dried up. And then she had all that layering here, which then created a bit more depth around her chin. So they are your main face shapes, and there's just a couple, for each face shape, a couple of tips and tricks. So that was my video on face shapes. I didn't give you every single rule there is, every single thought there is about face shapes and fringes and how to wear your hair, but just a couple of tips and tricks for each face shape. And if you like that video, if you give me a thumbs up, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, maybe ringing the bell, and I'll see you at my next video. See ya.